Slightly different, but yeah, almost
similar.
Militia?
No. That was the one with the house, wasn't it? With
Yeah, that was the one with the
hostages in there?
Yeah, I remember
no,
that one.
No. We're not going there. You're not taking me there either.
I remember that from 1.5 days. I love
yeah,
this.
well, I think we all do. Instead, we are going to head back to our commentary team because Game 2 is about to begin. Can Signature make it through to play Renegades? Let's find out.
Thank you very much, Paul. Yes, we are poised in position to find out which of these two teams progresses and continues a little while longer and which team is knocked out. Singularity, they made a bit of a dog's dinner out of it, but they got there eventually. Mirage could see them take the 2-0 lead. What do you feel? Spotnet, they seem to make some kind of resurgence, but they're very poor to start things off there.
Yeah, I mean, the hard thing about it is that when you look at Spotnet, I mean, they've only played Mirage once with this current 5 that I've been able to 5, and it wasn't even in the qualifier for this event. It was for the Arab Championship, whereas Signature have played a lot of Mirage, and it's probably their most successful map. I mean, I think with this current 5 within regional play and all the different leagues and tournaments they play in, they're actually 11-2 on Mirage. So a lot more fluency, a lot more game time together, so, you know, more experience as a unit playing the map and drilling it. So I would expect them to do pretty well. I will say that one of the cool things about Signature on this map is while they usually like to run a lot of, like, you know, 5-man hits or just 1-4 stuff, they have a lot of set pieces on the A bomb site with, like, different smoke walls and utility usage. So I think, like, their utility implementation shines a lot more on a map like this one and how some of the executes they can set up. So it'll be interesting to see how Spotnet defends against that, or how they retake against it, or just how they handle a team that is well drilled on some of these executes.
Well, let's find out the answers to those questions. We are just about ready to get live into map number 2. Jabs and the rest of Spotnet going to be funneling their way over on the CT side. And a smoke and a kit is all that they will have other than the USPs and a bit of Kevlar. It's going to be a very quick, brisk push through into the B-App side, though, and Zero Cool is going to see a lot of action here as players jumping right over his head. He's missed a whole bunch of bullets, and he's going to get punished with his life being lost in the process. Senpai now trying to tee off on the bench. He's going to get himself one. A real scrappy affair over on the B side. But the bomb still hasn't been planted, and to make matters worse now, it has been dropped. Tor, in 1 and 3, he's got the first. And what he's hoping is another couple, but Jabs will lay him out. And Spotnet do pick up the pistol. Oh, such a scrappy confrontation on the side.
Yeah, they got held up for so long that Spotnet were able to get all their rotates in pretty well, and Emperor does get it done with a nice solid. Just, you know, preemptively doing that, staring me down, you know, premeditated. Mute button right there on the board, couldn't be asked to.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. So you are going to see Signature lining up one of those smoke setups I was talking about over in the A-bomb site already on a save round like this. Or not a save, obviously they've bought up into this pretty well. Probably just going to be like your standard 3 smokes, like stairs, jungle, CT spawn type deal. Could be the straight line through the site though. Yeah, there it is. Your standard 3 smoke.
Yeah, default set play that everyone's done 1,000,001 times. There was a small gap in the smoke though, and Jabs can make the most of that with 2 kills, 3 with this FAMAS. In fact, I think it was stolen away from him by Emperor. Indeed it was, but not losing a single life is a fantastic round for Spotnet. I nearly said Singularity there.
Yeah, there you go.
Not quite.
As
completely different.
That bench position that's on the back wall of the A side is what CTs are using nowadays a lot to deal with smoke setups over towards jungle and stairs. And I will say that Signature has a particular execute to contest that bench actually directly and stop that from being factored in either using an extra smoke or a Molotov. So be on the lookout for that once they get full guns and utility out in play. But for now, it'll be mostly Glocks, and so it should be just a lot of shredding from these, you know, SMGs here at middle, but actually a couple of kills coming in here with some of these lesser pistols. Jabs, though, quick to finish off the job, so they will get the 3-0 start.
Solid work by Jabs. I'm assuming this is a technical issue. Wouldn't make any sense to call it tactical right now.
I feel that's probably a safe bet.
So do you feel like the UMP is going to see any more nerfs, or is that where Valve just pulls the plug and they're like, nope, it's all balanced now, we're all good?
No idea. I've learned that trying to guess anything about it would. Well,
because the reason I'm asking that is that I personally would love to see the FAMAS back in play again, or at least viable. In the right hands, it still is. But as we saw from Jabs there, I mean, he just absolutely wrecked everybody. But it just seems like it's so rarely used.
Yeah, it's very true. But we'll see the AWP come out pretty early here from Spotnet as well on Issa instead of Zero Cool, who does do a lot of toting of the AWP when they do have it. Signature will have AK up, no Molotovs, but they do have plenty of smokes and flashes. It looks like they will go for just a really quick mid-split. They're going to try to get that smoke out on Catwalk and then probably window afterwards. See if they just can't get up connector quickly and try to split this A-bomb site. Seems to be the goal.
Ooh, that wasn't far off with the flick. Not far off, not good enough. So he will turn tail and run back out of window. There's 2 players there. That is such a tilting moment. You're not expecting 2 to be in the ramp, and now Giggs is going to try and pick up the slack. You expect maybe 1 player to be in ramp, but just seeing 2, like, you know, holding hands.
And that just cuts off half of your execute, right? Because, you know, you had 2 people waiting there to kind of split the A-bomb site, and that portion gets completely shut down. And that leaves you with really not much left at that point when the majority of your attack has been silenced. And so we will see just Tech9s, you know, making sure that you put a little bit into this round, but you're also going to get to max loss bonus next round, so still a full buy coming. So one of those things where you're not going to, you know, hamstring yourself in the next, but you're giving yourself somewhat of a chance to win this round. They actually have a lot of smokes, and I'm wondering if they're lining up smokes onto B itself, or if they're going to, there's some smokes you can throw here onto A site and almost turn it into like a little bit of a fake.
I thought that sound cue would actually betray Senpai, but instead he is just mowing down fools left, right, and center.
Saying, noticed me.
Oh, why?
You didn't like that? That was pretty good. Compared to some of the other ones I've made, that one actually was pretty okay.
I've been trying not to go down that route because it makes me cringe so hard.
I've been waiting all day to put that one out there. Never got the chance on the desk. Finally, a moment showed up here in the game, so it happened. There you go. That's why they hire me, you know.
The Pun Master General, Mr. Dust. It is 5-0 though. You know, it's kind of crept up on us. It's been pretty fast-paced action, but Spotnet do have the commanding lead. Just what they were looking for after that first map loss. And Jabs,
they're really loving
continue
this.
to apply the pressure.
Yeah, they're really playing up front on A ramp multiple times on gun rounds. Just kind of cutting off one of the routes of Signature to take. And so now they don't really have the option towards A. Everything's going to be focused towards middle, and they have 1 player in B apartment. So now it looks like they're going to try to split Cat and B apps. There is actually no one here to watch them come up Catwalk, so could see them break in. Big pill from Rolex. Big pill from Rolex. Solid. Sorry. That's what 2 hours of sleep will do to you.
15 minutes, mate. Bomb planted, Signature. Not far off. Oh, it did actually land. It was a bit delayed on the kill feed there. I was like, that wasn't far off. I actually hit him plumb in the head. Jab's going to come through with a kill of his own, and this is a must-win round. No, not like this. Emperor was so close. I was going to say Signature cannot afford to lose that. They've got to capitalize. But, you know, Emperor, he did so much work there at the end that now Signature have got to go deep into their pockets anyway. So if they lose this round, they're right back where they started.
Yeah, they'd be right to saving. So basically just a huge reset could happen. And also limits their utility a little bit in this round. You can see that Rolex isn't quite going to have the rest of the nades that his team has to work things out. So that could limit their options a tad. As again, no presence at A. It looks like they want to keep maybe doing this mid-B split again. It worked last time, so it looks like they want to maybe try that once more. So we're going to see some forward positions from Spotnet in the B apartments, playing a little bit of a bait setup. 1 van, 1 up close, so probably the van player will draw them in, hold their attention while that player up close kind of stays tucked and hidden. Could shut down the bomb because of that as well. That's where the bomb is going to come out in this attack. It's not going to be at Catwalk.
Zero Cool able to back away. And the trajectory of that Molotov suggests he might be on Van. And that could really screw them, but Rolex is taking no chances. This is much better by Signature. Straight throughout on the B side. Entries aplenty, and Spotnet they've just got to say. So for all the goodness that Emperor did in the previous round, only losing stickies in this, it's going to do the world of good for Signature's economy as well.
Absolutely. Being able to carry over all the head armor, the 3 AKs, probably even keep the UMP in play. Why not?
You're expecting to see some head armless plays in the next round, so it wouldn't surprise me if Genius does hold on to that, or maybe just drops it to stickies and upgrades into an AK.
It's a good recovery from Signature. They've won a couple of rounds here. One player does go down. That's Gig, so one of the AKs eliminated.
Yep, and they're not going to be in a position to pick that one up either. So that is going to be an AK that goes by the wayside. Let's have a look at how the two buys are looking in this. That's one hell of an explosion.
There you go.
That seems more nuclear than anything else.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that one little thing of C4 probably does that much.
Oh, they actually do trade out for the UMP. All right, so they're going to go for full assault rifles instead. I'm quite surprised by that. I'm not going to lie.
Well, didn't he pick up an M4? Is that what it is?
It's possible. Emperor is going to get domed, though. And no frill CS. There's nothing special about that. It's just raw entry fragging power.
Yeah, I mean, they don't even go for like one of their heavy utility setups on A. They'd actually just come out naked, basically. Setting themselves up for maybe, you know, more complex utility plays later on in the half, as this will be their third round in a row and a chance to win another one clean if they can hold on to these 4 players, as there is a kit and some utility for Spotnet try to crack back in, but their money is so low they can't really go for it. And so they will just back down, and we will see Tor maybe give chase.
Yeah, he wants to try and cut off these stragglers so that Spotnet can't just force again. But the position that Spotnet have decided to hide in is really solid for a crossfire. Now, Genius does have a molly, but I don't think there's going to be enough time for them to utilize this. So it seems Spotnet will be able to save all 3 weapons. Indeed, they shall. So they can now drop with Issa and Jazz both at over 4K. You expect to see them drop a couple weapons and have another full purchase here, which is why Signature was so hungry to take them out.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Issa keeping with the AWP, because I feel like when I did watch them play Mirage, the one time they did it was usually Zero Cool toting it around and kind of floating around the map. So a little bit of a change, I guess, though you do see Issa sometimes pick it up on other maps. So it seems like they're just kind of flexible with how they do that. As we are going to see a little bit of aggression from Spotnet on middle instead of A. So they've always been a sort of somewhere on the map. Seems to be kind of the pattern you're seeing from their CT side. They have Jazz coming up catwalk as well. He's going to line up 2, so really well done to get something going in this round.
Yeah, that's massive. Just as Signature was starting to claw their way back into this, Rolex, it's always a horrible position to be in here, because you go up, you kind of have to commit to connector, and you always have in the back of your mind, like, worrying if someone's going to shoot you from short. But fortunately for him, the player actually decided to go into window instead, and that flashbang not really being effective.
Yeah, you've seen better, that's for sure.
And Sentry goes in to make sure he wasn't under the window, and that's kind of what I was talking about before. If you look up to connector, there's a chance at short, there's also a chance at toll booth, and that's where he ultimately met his demise.
So Signature still able to buy up here, and they're going to get plenty of utility. You even see Giggs getting a UMP to make sure he can add on to it with his own smoke and Molotov and flash. And I wonder if this is where you finally see Signature go for one of these heavy A set pieces that I was referring to pre-game that they like to run. They have a couple of even unique smoke walls in A that a little bit different than your standard stuff, so we could definitely see that unfolding now. But again, aggression from Spotnet up middle.
Yeah, aggression was originally going up, but they decided better of it. They're going to back away. And here comes the fast play onto A site, though, looking for the entry. Sticky's going to connect with a headshot. But Issa, partially through the smoke, comes right back in with one of his own. Spotnet do retain the player advantage, but quite a lot of real estate has been picked up on the A side. The issue now, though, is that they're starting to run out of those smokes, and in doing so, the CTs may be able to get themselves back into this round as Jabs goes in for the headshot, certainly showing up more here on Mirage. The best performance we've seen from him thus far in this tournament, and he goes in for another one. It's all on Giggs. 55 seconds left. He's actually up close and personal with the UMP. Finally gets the spray, but Zero cools there with the M4A4, and Spotnet regain a 4-round lead.
Yeah, they never were really able to like truly crack open the A-bomb site and ever get any chance at planting. Like always enough being done to slow them down, particularly this pick from Issa there with the AWP. Again, kind of using that bench area that can always be tricky to deal with, even when you have that smoke down on jungle. Seems to always be able to get that kill off. Can be critical, and you can see the impact it's had. Just the Eagles here from Signature. The P250 on Rolex, only one armor. That's going to be genius. Op shot missed by Issa, though. This gives him a little bit more room to actually start getting out mid. He finally connects one on the Genius.
I mean, I'm not going crazy. They both looked on, right? In mid. They look pretty close to me, at least. Either way, the Deagle is going to connect. And now Jabs in connector has 3 players to his left and his right to contend with. He's going to get the drop onto Rolex and the second as well. They're just going to line up for him, padding those stats. But Tor has taken this advantage to just stroll straight out of the Palace side. And now he is the last remaining terrorist. They know roughly where he is, but he's snuck his way into the CT side on the boxes.
Bomb well out of reach, though. It's a real big problem here. He will get this kill and get into a 1v1, but again, as Senpai can just really play this bomb, he's got it in his possession. He can even throw an incendiary on top of it if he wanted to stop him from being able to get it and buy a little bit more time.
Would make the most sense. He's now going to go peeking through window. There is an AWP here as well. Tor's going to go around quickly and lands the flick and gets the clutch. That is massive for Signature. And Spotnet, not only do they concede the round, but now their economy's in a downturn too.
Big individual effort there from Tor, really just being able to come out, Palace blindside a player inside the site. Started out so well for Spotnet. They were really controlling the middle portion of this attack well. They got the bomb down in great position. And just unfortunately for them, Tor makes a heads-up play, resets Spotnet's economy. You can see the damage it's done. They do keep an AWP in play, sure, but you have 3 guys on Deagles. Not ideal utility. They have basically none, just the 1 flash on Jabs. And so this opens up Signature to perhaps get a little bit more out of this half all of a sudden.
It's rounds like that, plays like that can turn a map, a best of 3, on its head. Just when you thought Spotnet were going to start to get themselves back into this one after losing the first map. That play from Tor could be the difference maker. And they still have quite a bit of firepower in this round, Dust. I mean, they got an open and M4. It's more the lack of utility that's more concern for me.
Absolutely. You see Signature slowing it down a little bit this round. Do have a lot of focus over towards these B apartments. Just Gigs kind of lurking over towards the A side of the map, but it will be the focus on B here. Good smokes, kind of blocking vision from Zero Cool.
1-4 on the site. This is where the superior firepower should start to come to fruition, plus the nades. Zero Cool is forced out into the open. Not far off from that no-scope attempt. Oh, Jabs, not like that. Goes for the spray through the smoke. It's his teammate.
Hate to see it.
You do, but to be fair to Jabs, he has played a really solid Mirage thus far, so we'll let him off. I'm not sure if Zero Cool will, though. And now Issa's hoping to maybe get an exit frag and pick up one of these juicy AKs. Or best case scenario, AWP. It's unlikely that Tor's going to push here, though, with the AWP. This is such a tenuous position to try and save in. So, 7-5 will be the score, which, considering that Spotnet started with a 5-0 lead, not too shabby for Signature.
Yeah, and you can see that they kind of force up those Deagles around the AWP at M4. It didn't work out, and so in this round, they'll have to save up to give Signature a chance to close that gap, start working towards tying this half up. So I'm sure they've been a bit disappointed with how this has played out thus far, because, again, they've been so successful on Mirage in their scene. 11-2 record on the map online. Much more official results on it than Spotnet has when it comes to current lineups. But they really haven't gotten themselves established the way they wanted to. But here's their chance to still perhaps even take the lead going into the second half. As they will once again play fairly spread out throughout the map.
Yeah, setting up, I would say this is more sort of like an anti-eco strat than really anything else, knowing that Spotnet will be into pistols and not much else. effectively saying, come on us bros, we're just going to hide here. You come out into the open, we'll pick you off, and we'll convert off the back of that.
That's fair enough considering how aggressive Spotnet has played on their CT side. So, I mean, kind of just reading into that, I think, is what Signature's doing here.
Yeah. Totally makes sense that they would do this.
And Spotnet, though, not giving them anything. They are playing a little bit of a stack towards the A-bomb site here with one under and on top of balcony, as well as one kind of tucked in over there opposite of Firebox. And we do see that bomb finally being collected here. It looks like they will be transitioning with Tora. We're towards the A side of the map, so we'll see if this balcony setup comes into play.
One Molotov will completely put this down, though, if it is thrown down from the Palace side. Giggs does have a Molotov as well, and he's in that position. So here come the mollies, but the P250 is still doing work, but Emperor's going to burn. He decides to come out into the opener. 2-for-2 trade, honestly, early doors in this round is not too bad, but again, this is where the superior guns start to show themselves. Zero Cool with a USP, not today, and Signature nearly bringing this back to even. And although Spotnet will have a buy, it's not going to be a great one.
Yeah, it got a little bit scary for a second because it looked like Emperor might be able to do something with all of that. I mean, they didn't really pick up on him being that second guy near the balcony area. He almost was able to do a little bit of a shock and all there. He did get one kill, but quickly silenced. And so Signature does wind up handling that fairly efficiently. So they will get their 6th round on the board. There's still a good chance to tie this up, though Spotnet are back onto a full buy. It will not be without an AWP. And again, utility is limited. They don't have a kit as well. So they're definitely hurting in a lot of areas, despite the fact they do at least have full M4s. But they get aggressive in Palace, and Giggs makes them pay for it. Free kills.
Worst start possible for Spotnet. Fortunately, Emperor is going to come back with one of his own. Only one nade to use. This is an important duel, and it's gone the way of Signature 2. They needed that one desperately, the CTs, to come back into this round. And now you can see from Emperor's perspective, he's just scampering left and right, has so many angles to cover. I mean, ultimately, because his teammates slap bang on B, he's got 4 or 5 angles he needs to be wary of. Got Palace, ramp, connector, jungle, maybe even behind him could be a concern. And so as a result, he is playing super passive just to make sure he stays alive long enough to get Zero Cool into this round now. But in doing so, he will go down, but Zero Cool comes through from the side and lands himself too. Where did that come from?
Yeah, that was pretty rapid, wasn't it? He just found some key kills there right at the end. That just shows you how tricky it is to deal with a bomb site as terrorists when you don't have like smokes to your availability to be able to get a bomb plant down. It's so hard to plant an A with limited utility. The choke points are so wide. Particularly dealing with like a tricky angle like stairs. It's like basically a headshot angle for CT speaking into the site. So there's just so much room for CTs to work with there, and you see how difficult it can be. And Signature coming into the last round, gets picked up by Isa playing aggressive. This guy's not picking up on it. Tor does at least get the flick headshot. It looked a little bit scary there for a moment, though.
He seemed very slow to react, didn't he? It was quite odd. Not sure if there was some confusion for a second there. But he still gets the kill, so it's not really that important overall. Zero Cool gets tagged down to 37. UMP from that kind of an angle isn't the greatest when there's players actually on the site itself, and it seems like Signature now taking a stranglehold over this round are going to be potentially taking us to an 8-7 halftime score. Again, they'll be very happy with that. They started this 5-0 down.
Yeah, I mean, when you consider the context of starting 5-0 down, this is actually trying to be a great half for Signature, but obviously overall, probably a bit disappointed that they didn't get more out of this. Of course, their economy just kind of got ravaged early on, was certainly a big part of it. See if Jabs can try to see if he can't maybe sneak this one through. He's already gotten a couple of kills.
And the way he's been playing so far here, Dust, you wouldn't write him off. He has a kit in the flash. The problem is the bomb's already been planted for quite some time. And there we have it. Giggs comes right out from short. 3K for him. And actually finishes the half 18 for 11. I mean, he was carrying hard for Signature. He's joint top with Jabs. He's on 18 and 7. So props to Giggs. It's one hell of a performance.
Yeah, really well done there by him to kind of help his team get back into this. He had a couple of big openers, a couple of big individual plays. Even though Tor doesn't have that many frags on the board, he also had a one really big impact round on the A-bomb site to help them get into this. So props to him as well. And so we do have a hat that is as close as it gets. And again, given how things started, not a bad recovery from Signature by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh yeah, to be fair to Jabs, actually, he does have more kills. He got the TK onto 0 cool. So he actually has 19, not 18. Just how the scoring system works. Not that it really matters. 2 kits, interesting. Signature have gone for 2 kits and a smoke.
Yeah, so limits the armor, obviously, availability here for Signature.
Yeah. So I assume they're just going to go for 1 kit per site. And that would be the logical conclusion here. A lot of teams would just take the 1 kit over the 2. Deagle for Spotnet.
A lot of info gained by Giggs here, pushing through B apartments. Allows him a little bit of an early rotation towards the A side.
Oof. 1 tap of Dreams. Thor's going to look for a second one. Lands it. Bombs dropped out. And he can use that smoke for a Sanctuary so he can get himself a reload and come back in for seconds. But Senpai is there for 2 kills of his own. And now going to using the very centralized push through Murder Hole. But that bomb drop is brutal.
Yeah, it definitely bounced way out there towards CT spawn.
I mean, that could have just lost them the round. Fortunately, though, they have got the kill onto Stickies, so this now gives Rolex a couple of things to worry about. Now he's seen both plays, but Senpai threads a long-range Glock headshot, and Spotnet escape and pick up the second pistol.
Yeah, big plays from Senpai throughout that round. Starts out great for Tori. He really struggled to get this second kill, but he does, and he actually stayed alive. So it started out so well for Signature, but then Senpai just goes mental with these close-range kills, including that far-range one at the end. So we'll be Spotnet increasing their lead. No tie game yet. Signature will buy up as much as they can here, including Tor getting the scout. Solid. Some T-Tors in chat, I am sure.
So there is actually a scout picked up alongside these pistols.
Yeah, I just said that right before the...
Yep. I got sidetracked by the T-Tors moment. CZ for Genius, and well,
there you go.
Overzealous thinks his teammate. Fortunately, it's just the Mac 10, so it doesn't do that much with armor. That's a tasty little CZ frag, and he's looking for a second one as well into the app side. Senpai, though, once again, making that UMP sing. Taking kills down. Flashes in the eyes of Rolex, can't see anything. Jab's only on 3 health. But you have to feel that Spotnet are just going to play the positional advantage. And Senpai will get Rolex as he tries to push the site. So maintaining some control again after a shoddy second portion of that first half.
So my analysis for that round is that my mind is so melted that when you said tasty CZ, I thought you said tasty Caesar. And I wouldn't mind a Caesar salad right.
Honestly, mate, I would join you for one of those right now. So that sounds good.
Just to let you know how far along I am.
How delirious is that?
Yeah. Oh, this is cool. We are now doing a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, PowerPoint presentation commentary. 0 cool.
Next slide.
Moonwalking his way onto the site.
Dum, 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 dum.
3 kills come down, of course. I don't know what just happened.
I started doing some Billie Jean beatbox in there because of the moonwalk reference.
You should definitely sing Billie Jean. I want to see how high your voice can go. No?
No one wants that. No one wants that.
I kind of do, though.
You might.
I kind of do. Well, yeah, that round just happened. You can just fill in the blanks for yourselves, guys. You saw roughly what happened. Spotnet wrecked it. It was an anti-eco round, so 11-7 is now the score. I'm just thinking, is this just our preview screen, or is this what they see as well?
Yeah, that would be
otherwise
real awkward.
We'll seem like we're actually mental at this stage.
Yeah, definitely.
We're just talking about Michael Jackson and stuff, and everyone's like, what the hell is going on? These guys have finally lost it.
Oh, man.
All right, I think we're back to normality. It looks like we're getting there. All right. Unless the stream's been fine the whole time, in which case we have came out of our crazy slump.
Or maybe it's just us. Maybe we're just like in a simulation where it's messed up for us.
Apparently the stream also saw it, so
there you go.
You can share in the madness together. Only 2 flashes for Signature. No kits. They've gone for raw, ruthless firepower. No one dropping to a UMP or anything else. And so far, so good, Dust. They've got themselves the first kill, and it's looking like Giggs may be on track for the second one. Indeed, he is.
And just complete shutdown across the map. We saw, like, you know, redirection from Spotnet. They were kind of attacking multiple areas, but the real focus was, A, the bomb will actually go down. Actually, it doesn't. He gets pulled off of it right before he completes the plant. Has to go for the duel, and Tora wins it. So no plant, no frag. Still plenty of money from Spotnet, no to buy. But this is giving Signature a chance now. They're getting their own money established to maybe start getting back into this game again. They did win the first map on Cobblestone. It was a very close game, though, due to just them not being able to close more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those kind of games that we could have easily came out of that like 16-7.
Yep.
Could have easily came out 16-7, but due to not being able to get over the finish line, it's a little bit more rough than that. Tor is going to be trying to connect outside. Giggs goes in with a kill of his own, and now it's looking a whole lot better. UMP goes to town, and Rolex alongside Giggs are going to get themselves kills, leaving Zero Cool not for too much longer, who will die on Tetris, dropping the bomb out. And that is Spotnet now in a bit of trouble. Their economy sucks, to put it bluntly.
Taking a page out of Spotnet's book, just getting really aggressive on middle. You know, kind of getting around those smokes that were being thrown and being able to deal some heavy damage. And so, as you noted, it's 11-9. You do have Spotnet on a very low buy. So a chance to start maybe creeping in a tie situation. So let's see what they want to do with these Tech 9s. Looks like they want to gather underpass. They're going to go for like a sneak play through connector, like trying to get a connector really quick without it being identified in time. But Giggs will get behind it.
Yeah, even if he doesn't pick up all the kills, it is a lot of vital information that's been gathered, and it doesn't even matter anyway. It's a complete cleanup in the connector. Spotnet will be able to get a buy if they so choose, but even now it won't be great. I mean, Zero Cool probably is relegated to a UMP or a Tech 9 with Kevlar. And Senpai very much will be the same. He was just shy of having enough for the AK head armor outright, so he's down to a Tech 9 as well. So it's actually more of an equalizing buy with having Emperor on the AK. And I'm totally fine with this buy, you know, especially considering it's 11-10. There's no rush.
Indeed, so we are going to see Spotnet setting up with an A split in mind, as they're going to have several players coming out past, and they're not going to have any hesitation about it. Already swinging out. Rolex, though, getting underneath the balcony. Great positioning. Only gets one kill from it, though, so good trades, actually, from Spotnet. They even push down the bench area, and so this is actually brutal for Signature. Giggs will have to come up with even more big plays to keep his team on track to tie after how things have gone. Genius chiming in as well, though.
Trying to preemptively tap on the firebox, and Emperor is there. How much they wish they had a nade, an incendiary, anything. And Jabs from Shadow will become the Reaper, taking 2 kills down with him. 26-10 Jabs moves to. Giggs is right alongside him on 26 kills of his own.
Yeah, I mean, they had him up against the ropes, and it's the punch out from Jabs that's going to get the job done to hold Signature off. So, again, I feel like they've inched themselves pretty close multiple times. They've never been able to, like, complete it and, like, put it together to actually tie the game up. And so that could come back to haunt them as, of course, they do have that one-match safety net. So it's not like this is elimination for them. It's, of course, elimination for Spotnet. So they're the ones pressured, but they're fighting through it.
Right, exactly.
Good fake coming out in the A-bomb set, it looks like here.
It is keeping 3 players interested and actually wrapping a 4th player for a little while who came through Kitchen, but seemingly has decided, okay, they haven't pushed just yet. This probably is a fake. And looking to execute anyone that walks out of apps. That is great play by Genius, who loses no HP in the process of racking 3 players. Zero Cool jumping into window, does get a kill, but it's not clean. Down to 6. Rolex is there to finish off what Sticky's started. So, again, it's that seesaw of Counter-Strike between these two teams with no real opening coming to fruition.
Yeah, there's definitely a fake in mind there, and it did buy the initial rotation. Like I said, it got that 4th person a little bit interested. It did commit 3 into the A site, but once enough time had passed, I think Signature, you know, pretty well caught on to what was going on. They never really pulled their B player out of position. And Genius, the anchor over there, was able to deliver individually with a couple of nice frags. And so this actually forces the reset on the Spotnet. And so this is a better chance of tying the game up now, given what Spotnet has to work with here. They will force up around it. So this could be where the economy finally catches up to Spotnet. If Signature can line this up, this could be a big dangerous waterfall, though, coming.
And they did so much chunk damage, though. You can see Genius is coming in with so many assists. Giggs with a 4K on for the ace. Will not be getting it. 12 to 12. As you highlighted, though, Spotnet, who were into a save, will have enough for a buy if they so choose, and they do pull the trigger. Will be AKs.
Giggs is already at 30 kills, and we have at least 4 more rounds to play. So he's definitely getting on up there. And you'd like to think that we might have more rounds than that, given how back and forth this has been. So if Giggs keep it up, he can really put up the monster numbers. I will say Jabs on the other side, not too far behind at 27. Yeah. So
they're neck and neck, honestly. And when you look at the rest of their team, they're head and shoulders above everyone else. They're like double the frags on most anyone else on their team. So it really has been a tale of 2 juggernauts. There's Jabs onto top. No huge surprise that it's him that picks it off for Spotnet. Alex, I think that was a flashbang that destroyed Senpai as he came out into the open. And Sticky's onto Emperor. And he's making this a harder task for the T's.
Yeah, great double balcony set up here from Signature, and Rolex will roll off of it for more. He gets the Euro cooldown. That's Bomb out of the equation. And now Issa has to play a huge clutch. And he's been a veteran for this team, obviously. And he's had a couple of these, but he seems well out of this one where the bomb's down in a grim position.
I mean, this surely is a bridge too far. He's got time, but normally if he has the bomb here, you can play mind games. You can try and isolate players from one another and get 3 1v1s if they make a mistake. They're not going to move. They got a trifecta of a crossfire set up. They have the bomb in the perfect position. Issa's going to have to pull off some pretty crazy reaction entries, and down he goes. Very few players could have pulled that off.
Yeah, just good team play by Signature over, kind of the player up top keeping the attention of a ramp, allowing the player from underneath to slip in, grab a free kill. So just playing off of one another in that area nets them around. And again, money's so low on Spotnet. Signature can now inch out to 14. There's just not much of a response Spotnet can have in this situation based on how the economy's playing out.
Love that transition, by the way. Solid stuff. Pretty cool.
I'm not even sure what you're referring to, but
the camera transition, bro.
Oh, yeah.
PGL a god tier at that stuff. Either way, 1D has connected already. And, well, they tried the boost on the box to try and counteract losing the first player, and it's just going to cost them more lives.
Oh,
and Jabs now comes through with another deagle.
You can't do this, Signature. Here was your chance to close out, and now they're just getting bodied. Yeah, that's harsh to allow Spotnet to tie it back up in a situation like that one.
What can you say about that, Dust? It's like, again, very reminiscent to Cobblestone. Signature have the win in the palm of their hand, and they just can't close their hand up. They can't take it away. It's just slipping.
We know how they struggled to close on Cobblestone. This time they've been playing from behind, but you were in a closing position right there to at least get 14-12 before you had to deal with a big buy from Spotnet, and they kind of coughed up that chance. But they still have a good buy here, so they can still, I guess, do it the hard way, so to speak, as Giggs is looking to initiate things over towards middle once more. There is one lurker over there. It's going to be Issa, but all the rest of the focus will be on B Apartments. Genius is jump spotting it, so you may get alerted, or the utility may just give it away here, as we are seeing them line up to throw those nades.
Nothing fake about this. It is going to be the raw push. Signature going to have a wild Jabs to contend with, who goes for the spray, and 3 kills in the space of a second go the way of Spotnet. Bomb's been planted, but Giggs with 3 out of nowhere of his own. And again, it's those 2 men that you're looking at to perform some fireworks. It's a 2-on-2 out of nowhere. It's unbelievable this has even got to this stage. Here comes the headshots now from Jabs. He's looking for a second one and lands it through the bench. And then dies to the Molotov of Giggs. Apt.
So he will edge out there. Again, this looked like it was going to be a dominant round, but again, it was Giggs making big plays, including a span through the smoke for 2 of those kills.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, that got real scary, but it doesn't come through in the end. Unfortunately, all for naught. So despite the high frag count, it is still Spotnet holding Signature off. They take the lead back now, and they have Signature on a low buy. They pretty much put all their eggs in this basket, really. If they don't win this, it's a map point for Spotnet, where they don't really have anything that they can put behind it.
I mean, if Spotnet win this map, you can't help but feel that 26th round where the Deagle and the Tech-9s take them down is probably the determining factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
You really could just single that out. Now, they're not out of it just yet. They did pick up the first kill, but Zero Cool is right back in. Tor catches Jabs with his pants down and a nade out. That's a pretty big kill to get. Still lacking in terms of utility, but thinning the herd of the terrorists is never a bad trait to have. Issa comes straight back out with another kill, though. He's going to get charged down and does get picked off. I thought Sticky's maybe missed his opportunity when that smoke went down.
Yeah, big play there. They still are going to be able to get the A site, though, since he did push in the palace. He's kind of conceded control of the site. But now they can play for the retake. They don't have a kit, though, is the thing. It may not matter as Giggs chimes in with the headshot on the Emperor. Now it's all on Zero Cool. Trying to plant here going to be so difficult. He can't know that CT spawn's clear without pushing it first and killing more clock time.
Zero Cool, you can see what he has in his mind of maybe going to B, but then I think he noticed the time.
I think he just wants to make sure he can plant default without getting pushed from CT spawn is the big thing here. Now he's kind of giving himself the best hope he can do that, but again, you got to worry about the flank from Palace or A ramp, which is exactly what's going to happen here from Stickies.
Well, at least he got the bomb plant, I guess, for Spotnet. They're going to have their economy tick over a little bit more. But yeah, Signature do take the round 14-14.
So another tight race, similar to Cobblestone, but kind of in different fashion. I mean, it's been 8-7 first half. This half has been a slugfest for the most part. I'm going to race between Giggs and Jabs to see who can deliver more, and it's been Giggs here lately. Up to 36 kills.
That is nuts.
Could hit 40 before this game is over. Not something you see every day in games that are contained to regulation of just 30 rounds.
I mean, between Giggs and Jabs, they have 68 kills. And actually, keep in mind that Jabs got a team kill, so that's actually 69. 69 kills between the two of them.
Those mass skills coming up, even though you're not, you know, having a long day.
That's pretty.
Still getting it out there.
Pretty simple addition, though.
Adds up to 69, of course.
Confirmed.
I feel like you forced it by doing that whole technicality of like the team kill thing.
Yeah, but I don't want to rob Jabs of a kill just because because it was an unlucky kill as well. He was trying to spam through the smoke, and Zero Cool was just stood there with no health.
Yep.
But either way, it could not be any closer. Neck and neck. 2 Tech-9s and a Galil. But we've seen Spotnet win with a whole lot worse than this, and they're going to get the early trade. Bomb now will maneuver itself over to the site in the hands of the very capable Senpai, and Tor is going to pick off Jabs on the cross. Bomb still does get planted. Sticky's going to go for the preemptive spray. He is very low on 13. Now surely he just waits for the rest of his team to maneuver their way in, and Tor is going to go in with a headshot. This could be the beginning of the end for Spotnet. They need to win this round, and now it's down to just Issa. And he's going to fall as well. Signature take the lead once again, 15-14.
Yeah, now they're at series point. This could be Spotnet's elimination. Signature, they've done it the hard way, to be fair. They've had much easier chances to take the lead and surpass Spotnet and knock them out, but they've always kind of lost to like little force buys, and so it's been hard on them. But they do punch that through. I think a lot of that did come down to there being like a pretty big gap on that smoke by CT spawn. So they thought they were going to be able to get a plant. They definitely weren't able to. It really made it a lot harder to get it down. And they gave Signature more time to maneuver across the map. And so now, here it is. Either overtime, our first one of the tournament, or Signature eliminate Spotnet. And we have our first team going home.
Insert cliche here. Spotnet on the brink of collapse. Issa taking damage early on, already down to 40. He is the player that's trying to run some kind of a fake, some kind of an interference play in the B app, so the rest of his team converge onto A site, but Rolex straight through into the smoke, lands the headshot, goes for the double spray down, and it's looking like Spotnet are all but done. And it's Issa, the man that was already tanked up, the first player to see action, that's the last to fall. Signature take it 16-14. It was labored, it was difficult to watch at times, but they got there in the end.
Indeed, they did. Rolex coming off the big play. He was actually kind of the sidekick to Giggs. Giggs obviously kind of the star of the map, but Rolex was doing great work. He also did really well on Cobblestone. That's great because he's only 16 years old. He's probably the youngest player in this tournament, or one of them at least. And he's doesn't have that much experience, and he definitely stepped up to help Giggs out in a big way. So shout out to him, and of course shout out to Giggs. 37 kills in a regulation game. That's definitely nothing to ignore. Well done by him. Also, just like a neat little interesting fact, he has B and W in front of his name, Giggs. That's actually because the letters B and W kind of look like some Thai characters in their language that basically spell the word, I think it's Thep is how you pronounce it, which means godlike. And he certainly was in this map. So this kind of a little fun fact. That does come from Bled, to be fair. He did tell me about that. So he's here in spirit today. He will be actually here tomorrow. But just thought I'd throw that in there. It seemed fitting for his performance on that map.
Very fitting. Without Giggs, because remember, they started 5-0, and it was Giggs that really started to bring them back into the map. Without him, that's the map 2 going the other way. We're heading to Overpass, and it's all on again. So, unreal performance. Commiserations to Spotnet, but they just weren't up to the task today.
Yeah, certainly. But we'll get a little bit more in-depth analysis from the panel over there. So, Paul, take it away.
Thanks very much, gents. Yes, Lebanon can be proud of their team, but unfortunately do come away from the PGL Asia Minor without a victory. A narrow defeat on Game 2, but it is Signature Game that move on to play Renegades in our final match of Group A. Let's break it down with our two panel members once more. Natu, what did you make of Game 2?
I thought it was a lot better than Game 1, to be honest with you. I felt to me that both teams were much more comfortable on Mirage than they were Cobblestone. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I mean, we saw much more elaborate strategies. I really liked the way how Signature went for the mid control before executing towards a bomb site after being down 5-0 and then getting 2 rounds in a row.
I saw you smile in that round.
That's the first time I smiled watching these games. Spotnet goes and tries to counter that by going heavy middle. They leave A open.
Hold on a second, because we've got the interview on stage, so we'll come back to you, Natu. Sorry.
They don't have much time to practice, so that's why there's not very many professional team in Thailand, because they're playing for part-time, not full-time. Practice for 2 hours per day, so that's not very much.
确实，在泰国的话，我们现在这款游戏也是非常的火热。但是很不幸的是，我们大部分的选手都是学生，就是兼职时间，所以每天可能只能打2个小时左右。那么基本上所有的队伍都是业余队。
那在这样的情况下能取得这么好的突破，我觉得已经非常难得了。那如果给他们这个打出成绩，我相信会有更多的泰国的优秀选手涌现出来。我想问一下，他这是第几次出国来打比赛？然后来到北京，印象怎么样？感觉？
So I think fans will be really happy you guys made it to the major. But I just want to ask you, is this the first LAN final? Is this the first time you play away from Thailand? Is this the first time you come to China?
Yeah, for me it's the first time, but from my teammate maybe 3 or third time or 4th times. But for me, this is my first time to play in overseas.
就是对我来说的话，我是第一次出国打比赛。当然，我有一些有经验的选手，他们队友的话已经是来过 中国2、3次了。
好，最后一个问题，还有一场比赛就可以进入到4强了。下一场是要对阵澳大利亚的队伍，他们对下一个对手是否有了解？会不会比这场比赛更艰难一点？
One more game and you guys gonna be.
Okay, so before we were rudely interrupted by the player giving an interview on the stage. Natu was telling us why he was smiling in that for the first time tonight.
Exactly, or today.
Or today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, today,
11.
at some point.
Depends on the time zone you're
is
thinking here.
Yeah, I'm in China time zone. Where are you?
Anyway, let's go back into it. I was happy to see that we see some adjusting there by Spotnet after losing twice against the mid control.
Yeah,
and then towards the bomb side.
We might just see it.
Look,
We might see it here, but still, Spotnet going for that heavy mid control. Signature actually going for an A play straight at that point in time. Happens to be the correct answer to what was going on the server.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just good to see them, both sides actually reacting to a sense. Signature figuring out, okay, we've done this twice in a row, it's worked great. I'm pretty sure the CTs are going to adjust at this point. And the CTs thinking, okay, they've gone for the meat control. They probably will go back to it again. They won them rounds. Nope, they're not. And they went 8 and they lost that round. Yeah. So, yeah, it's good to see both teams showcasing that they can actually do some adjusting.
Exactly. This is what we were talking about earlier. Signature being the bigger team in this kind of consent. The one that would adjust faster in terms of their opponent's play style. And with that, they were able to actually win rounds, but like it felt towards the late of the game there that they were both literally trying to adjust to one another. It was a spot where Spotnet became more flexible in their manners, and it just kind of kept on being a back and forth because none of the teams were secure enough to hold on to a strategy and just kind of bounce with it.
Yeah, it's hard when money was tight all the time for both sides as well. There's a lot of scrappy buys going on, and as we know, Tech-9s, for example, are really effective weapons in this game. So you can go for that A play, go for just a basic kind of a smokes to A, explode into the bombs, that kind of a play, and it can still work out. We saw that from Spotnet towards the tail end, winning rounds they were not supposed to. But in the end, it was the Thai side that actually managed to squeeze in and fend off Spotnet.
And who was the Tom Cruise MVP?
Tom Cruise MVP. Let's see what
Sorry,
it is.
the Mummy MVP.
The Tom.
It was Giggsy, as we call him in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, 37 kills doesn't, that's a pretty okay scoreline there for him. And I mean, he definitely. He
had some great rounds, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Some great individual rounds from BNW Giggs, who picks up the.
Which is
MVP.
almost as good as a BMW Gigs, but
I think he might have just spelled it wrong.
Well, it could have been.
Yeah.
It's just wondering, impact rating is something
Maybe
that
it's
is
a copy?
provided by Soulstrong. It calculates different things if you win clutches, what kind of kills do you get. And apparently they will implement some new things to it as well. So it'll have a lot of different things it takes into consideration to bring out that number.
And it's going to evolve as it goes through, as we build up more stats, obviously, towards the major as well. So it's going to be even better to look at as well. Yeah. Final thoughts on our friends from Lebanon. Haven't put up the best of showing, but at least showed us in the second game that they've got some talent in there.
That they can do it. That they can be close to doing it. They rallied up a valiant effort. You got to give it to them. They tried their best to us, and for once it felt like in this game in Mirage.
Try their best to sure.
Well,
how sure are you they tried their best?
From the matches that we've seen today, they definitely tried their best.
I mean,
I'm kidding.
This is the best.
You'd like to think they've shown their best, but at the same time, they're probably disappointed naturally. Aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, we saw the local Happy in Zero Cool, always late to the action. His team was down. He was in a 1-on-4 situation, and he's even in-game leading, still lurking like a beast. Well, to be honest, he actually did play pretty well, too. So, I mean, we saw, again, glimpses of individual effort here and there. Still, I mean, a lot of things they need to be working on. They just need to be more elaborate in the way they approach the game. Like we said, you got to go watch back these games and think of the things they did wrong. But at the same time, just go and learn from different teams, from different regions as well. There's a lot of things they can really look into.
It's goodbye to Spotnet as they depart the championship very early here on day one in Group A. However, there is one team still alive in that lower bracket, and they, of course, are Signature Gaming. They're up next, though, in the final best of 3 of Group A as they go head-to-head with Renegades.
You have no idea